Hello and welcome to my first foray into instructional videos. Here we are going to be making a Burmese chair. Here I am, I've pulled up a dimensional diagram from dimensions.com. I'm adjusting the dimensional drawing to actual scale by creating a cube of that scale and adjusting the drawing to the cube. And as I'm adjusting it, I'm creating a copy of the dimensional drawing for each of the three sides for later use. Here I am creating the cushions. As we can see, there are a number of cushions up top. I'm going to extrude individual squares here for the approach. Later on, I try a different approach that I didn't like, so I end up hitting Control Z a whole bunch of times. And yeah, as you can see, it turned into a whole bunch of weird lozenge shapes. So yeah, it didn't work out. Here I end up creating a whole bunch of creases in order to preserve the corners and edges. All little creases between the individual cushions as well need to be creased up. There, all nice and creased up. Now the borders also need to have a little bevel, so I need to select all those edges once again. A little shift, a little control, bippity boo, gray modifier there. Use 1/8 of an inch. I make a duplicate and separate that from the mesh, turn it into a curve. This will give the little cording around the edge of the cushion. I'll convert that back into a mesh and join it up with the cushion mesh, turn it into one object. And then I'll rinse and repeat for the next cushion. This cushion is a little curved, so we'll need a little special treatment. As I bring the top down and add these other sections in here, little edge loops, I need to bring them back a little in order to give that curve to this cushion, matching the angle of the top. Again, extrude out, scale individual, make sure you have the origin to individual origins, not median origin, in order to get that to work for you. Bippity boo, once again. All the creases, all the beveled edges, beveled weights, get that all in there. Smooth by angle. And once again, pulling off the outer edge to turn it into the cording. Separate that into a separate object, turn it into a curve. Turn it back into mesh, join it to the object. And there we go, we got two cushions. Now, in order to make the legs, we use a curve. Bring the curve onto Y plane. Get everything nice and flat. Try to match the spline to the curve. And duplicate the spline and match the other leg. Bingo bango. I assume the leg is a 1/2 inch. Looks about right. I want to convert it back into a mesh. I'm going to copy the end and make a little end cap. And just to make sure that the ends are circular, I use the loop tool to make it into a circle. Then I give a face to both ends and give a bigger bevel to the outer edge. And then I copy all the caps to each of the ends. Duplicate the legs to the other side. Now all that's left is some little details such as the ribs at the back of the chair and the buttons. So in order to make the ribs need to be held on by something, so there's these little, I don't know what you would call them, I'm not a furniture maker of sorts, but I figured that the ribs need to be attached by something. These look appropriate. Start making the ribs. Use a plane, get it to be about the right size. I attach them to the little crossbars that I just made. And I extrude out. Up to the next one. Bring that edge up and up again. Bevel this to give a nice little curve. And all the way up to the top one. There we go, hunky dory. I'll hit L to select all that uniform mesh there, extrude it down, pull it out, grab that little edge, pull it forward, grab the little edge on the back, I'll grab all the edges and give them a nice little bevel. I'll hit L again to select and copy each of the ribs, adjust them into place. There we go, we get all the ribs. Now we want some buttons. So I select one of the vertices in the middle of the intersections there, use select similar. Now I have a copy of all those little vertices. I'm going to extrude it in one direction, then I'm going to take that newly created edge and extrude it in another direction. Now I have a plane, and I'll extrude it upwards. Now I have a little cube for each of the vertices. Now I'll subdivide it. Now I have a little ball. Now I'll squish it down. Now it's a little puffy button. And I'll just rotate and adjust until they're all in perfect position to lay down over top of each of the positions that they should be in. Exactly. And then I'll do it once again, and again, and again. Here we are. But this time, I forgot to keep the see-through part so that I could select all of them. But this time, it's all good. We're all good here. Happy. La la la. Everything's rotated. Perfectly in position. And there we are. We got buttons. Just like that. Buttons, ribs. You got legs, cushions. You got a chair. Happy chair day.